Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Indigo Diamond here with another video. Here to talk about the latest episode of RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars 7 All Winners season. Um, so much wording. I don't know why they didn't just set it as its own separate thing and call it the All Winners season. Before we get into that, make sure you hit the subscribe button and like the video and tell me down below who are you rooting for. Honestly, I'm still hashtag Team Jinkx. I don't think that's going to change. I didn't think that was going to change, but yeah, Jinkx is like my person I still really want to go all the way to the end and win the whole thing. This week's episode was another design challenge, but essentially what they had to do was they all got to pick one of RuPaul's sort of like, well, a look that RuPaul has done and then kind of like translate it into something of their own. Um, so Vivienne wasted a block. It is kind of nice to see this finally work out in this like aspect, because we kind of like seen it most of the time where it's like, oh, the person that's been blocked has the potential of getting a star. Apart from with Monet got blocked. She didn't end up in the top, but she did still have the potential of getting given a star. So um, yeah, didn't work out this week. Another design challenge. I must admit, Jinkx did do a lot better this time round than she did previously, which was nice. It was nice to see her kind of actually really try and like not get defeated by it almost. That was really good to see. I suppose on her season they only had like one design challenge, so. But yeah, so they all had to essentially pick from a selection of 8 of RuPaul's looks. Vivienne gets to pick first because she won, and then she picks who goes next to pick, and they kind of just go down the line like that. So, yeah, I mean, Raja didn't get what she wanted. She was the last one to be picked. I think it's because she did quite well in the last design challenge. Maybe they were like, oh yeah, we don't want you to have anything you potentially want. Standouts from this week: Trinity, the Tuck, is once again just proving that she knows what to do and can just do it. Her look was phenomenal. It was definitely like one of my favourites. I sat there and as soon as I saw that I went, if she's not in the top, I'm going to be annoyed. um, Jaida did a great job. I thought Jada's look was good. Shea did quite well. I think her look was quite different. Um, Especially to like compared to what the original was, but it still looked phenomenal. Very impressed with what she managed to do with the fabric, because she had to sort of hand paint the pattern on the pink, so that was, you know, absolutely extraordinary. Who else did well? Monet did a good job. um, Yvie did a fine job. My problem with Yvie, because she had like these really amazing pants, I loved her pants. They were sort of like an orangey colour, but then she had like a hot pink top, and for me the hot pink top was just too different from the rest of it, because she wanted it to sort of like go like an ombre, so like sort of like slowly changed, but I don't think she managed that with the top. Like the pants did look like they kind of like changed colour as they went down, but then she had just like a hot pink belt and then just like this massive section of hot pink on her top. So wasn't my favourite there. I also wasn't a big fan of like the two-tone lip. Again, I think what it was is they were just two completely different. Um, so that wasn't resonating with me as much, but I love the pants. The pants were phenomenal. The fact that she managed to do that was absolutely amazing. I wasn't a big fan of Vivienne's look. I will say I think part of that, and probably most of that, were the materials. Because it was sort of like a lame gold over the top, and then like a really contrasting sort of like gold bit underneath. I think for me that was probably why I really didn't like it. Raja's look was okay. I didn't mind it. I don't think it needed the big cagey bit on top, but apart from that, yeah, it was fine. Have I missed anyone? I've actually gone for everyone now. I think I did go for it. Wow. But oh god, excuse me. So yeah, Vivienne definitely was very unfortunate with her block for this episode. Um, because I mean, Jinkx didn't do a bad job. Her outfit was fine, um, but yeah, it definitely wasn't going to win this week. But it was still much better than the last one she did. So props to Jinkx for actually coming through and creating something quite good. Um, top two were Jaida and Trinity. Honestly, I think that was a great choice. This means Trinity now has her second Legendary Legend badge star, Legendary Legend star. Jaida now has 3. So yeah, Jada's very sneakily got into the lead there. So I think she might be the next one to be blocked when they get a chance, because after this episode there's only 4 competing episodes left. Because if you think about it, so last week was episode 6. They said we're at the halfway point. Got this episode, and then there's only going to be 4 where they can earn stars, because that last episode they're not going to be earning any stars. That's just going to be the episode where they lip sync. So it is one of those things, like anyone who's only got 1 star at the moment, I think is going to be starting to feel a bit uneasy, and we saw that in the preview for next week. Because obviously, unless they start giving out bonus stars and that again, it's like, well, who's going to make it to the end? We've got Jinkx, who's got 2 stars. We've got Yvie, who's got 2 stars. Jada's got 3. Trinity's got 2 stars now. Those are the 4 that you're kind of like, okay, so are these the 4 that are going to make it to the end then? Because they've already, I mean, as much as I'm not sure with Yvie, just because obviously, yes, she's got 1 star. Well, she's got 2 stars, but one of them was given to her. So, yes, it puts her in the fact that she's 2 stars, but, she won last week. She didn't win again this week. So it's like, well, was it a case of now she's got 2 stars? Is that going to be where she stops? Or... So, yeah, I think they're going to be looking at Jaida as a threat. Trinity won the lip sync, and she blocked Yvie. So Yvie... Next week's an acting challenge, so I'm not sure how well Yvie's going to do in that, but she can't get a star next week anyway. It's an acting challenge, which means Jinkx is potentially going to get another star next week. Monet could get a 2nd star. Shea's done well in acting challenges beforehand, as has Trinity. And Jaida, to be fair. Jada's done... I mean, she didn't do great in the Gays Anatomy, but I'm thinking with the commercial challenge, which is kind of like an acting challenge per se, we've got quite a few people that were quite good at acting challenges, and we've seen before Viv and Jinkx tend to be able to steamroll. I'm surprised Monet hasn't done better, but I feel like in the improv challenge she played more of the straight role, and in season 10, when she was able to really flourish in an acting challenge, was when she was able to just have fun with it. And I think playing the straight role kind of restricts how much fun you can have. So there's a few people that I think could do really well next week. I think Jinkx is probably going to smash it because it's Jinkx. So I'm expecting Jinkx to maybe be in the top and get her 3rd star next week, maybe. But we'll see how it goes. We'll see how the roles play out, who gets what. It could be that Monet gets a particularly good role and she ends up in the top. I'd love to see Monet in the top again, because Monet's a good lip syncer, and we've only got to see her do it once so far, and it was in the 1st episode. And as good as she was in that, Coulee did better, and so you were kind of more focused on Shea. So I would like to see Monet get in the top a bit more. I would love to see her I would love to see Monet as one of the finalists. Jaida, again, good lip syncer. I just love Jaida. I think she's got such a great energy. So I would love to see her. The problem is there's quite a few, because Trinity, I'd love to see Trinity in the finale. I'd love to see Shea in the finale. It's too many people, but Jinkx, I think Jinkx and Monet, and maybe no, I'm gonna say Jinkx is my definite one, and the others, it's I don't know. There's too many others that I want to see up there as well, so it is a problem. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah, I think Jada's, unless Jada gets in the top next week, I can see them trying to block her because of the fact that she's now on 3 stars. She now has the most stars in the group, which means she is potentially almost solidified her spot in the finale. Unless like, oh, it's difficult because it's like, depending on the challenges, Jinkx could end up in the top for the rest of the season. There's only 4 more episodes that people can earn stars. As I said, without bonus stars and things like that. Oh, it's a tough one. It's got to that point now where it's like, oh, we're over the halfway mark. There's people with 1 stars, and like I said, with the preview for next week, there you can see the queens that only have 1 star are starting to kind of get worried. They're starting to panic a bit about the fact that it's like, oh, I've only got 1 star. What's gonna happen? So, yeah, we saw at the end of this week that no, at the beginning of this week, Vivienne get a bit more agitated. I feel like Vivienne, she's not so much rolling with the punches. She's taking everything very personally. Now again, I don't know if this is actually how she's feeling or if she's just trying to make good television, but it's not coming across very well because honestly, it's making her less likable. And for me, she wasn't the most likable in her original season. So yeah, it's like, she's getting like really pissy with Jinkx about the fact that she's been blocked again, and like Jinkx was like, yeah, well, I've been blocked multiple times. Trinity's well, she was like, I've been blocked and then been in the top. Trinity's been blocked and then in the top. Yeah, it sucks, but that's the name of the game. She's like, there's no point getting aggravated about it because it's just what happens. And it's like, yeah, that is a very fair point. Jinkx hasn't been like, oh my god, about it. Trinity, if anything's kind of just been more comical about it. Kind of like, well, this is the deal. And Vivienne just seems very sour about it. Again, I don't know whether this is actually how she was feeling at the time. I don't know whether it's her going, okay, we need to make good television. Let me just, throw some drama in there. But I feel like the problem with that, if that's the case, is it just feels like she's throwing her toys out the pram. It doesn't feel like a genuine, almost like a genuine thing to be annoyed about. I mean, yes, it's annoying, we get that, but there's 2 other people that have been in the same situation, they've not acted that way, so, I think it's maybe more about reading the room, reading, like, how other people, and you've got to remember that other people, like, if other people have been in that similar situation, because if you start acting a sort of way, and there's people that have been in a similar situation, they're gonna almost call you out on it, and then you just look like more of a dick than you already do. So yeah, I don't know. I like Viv in the challenges, but then in like the workroom, she tends to just say stuff that makes me go, oh, okay. But you do have to remember it's a TV show. It could just be that she's putting it on, as she has said on Facebook and things like that. She's worked in TV for so many years and she knows how to make good television. Whether it's just a case of she thinks she's making good television and to some of us it's not coming across that way. Who am I to say? At the end of the day, I still like what she does, so I'm still going to support her for that. But this is a this is a review show. This is me talking about my feelings about the episode. This is how she acted in the episode. So, I will say though, point of context, just to don't feel like I should need to clarify this or like mention it, but I know what the fandom's like, so I'm gonna put it out there again, just so we're all on the same page. These are my opinions. That does not mean you can send hate to queens. These queens are doing a job. At the end of the day, if you start bullying queens, sending them hate and death threats and stuff like that, they're going to stop doing shows like this, and we're not going to have anything to watch or enjoy. So, you know, think about things before you say them to the queens, because at the end of the day, they are people too. This is only a TV show. We don't know all the context behind all these things. Just enjoy it. You know, it's a TV show. It's just fun to watch. I love watching Drag Race. It's one of my favourite things to do. I'm always sad when there's not Drag Race, which is why I'm always happy about the fact that they keep doing more and more seasons. You know, the Versus the World seasons. We've got America, we've got UK, we've got All Stars. You know, even down under, Canada's got another season coming out. I may not watch a lot of the international seasons because they're not in English, and I'm really bad at watching reading subtitles. So for me, I'm probably going to miss half of it if I'm honest. So it's almost just not worth me watching them. But I do tend to still try and follow the queens on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter and stuff like that. So I still sort of like can see what they're doing. You know, so think before you speak to the queens. Think before you post about the queens. They are human beings. You know, this is essentially their jobs. So, yeah, be kind, you know, especially with everything going on in America recently. We need to be more of a community. We need to look out for each other. And, yeah, that means you shouldn't be sending death threats and hate messages to people anyway. It's just stupid. Don't do it. If anything, it makes you look like a worse person than, you know, you maybe want to be seen as. Just don't do it. If you're going to send a queen a message, make sure it's a nice one. You know, tell them that you love what they do. Support them by buying their merchandise. You know, that sort of stuff. Support the queens you do like. Don't send death threats and hate threats to queens you don't like, or queens that maybe were on a season and kicked one of your favourites off or something. They're just doing what they're supposed to be doing. Right, rant over, I swear. I'm going to finish the video now. Otherwise, I might end up going on some more. So, yes, leave me a comment down below. Who are you rooting for? I'm still hashtag Team Jinkx. Hashtag Team Jinkx all the way. While you're down there, hit that subscribe button, like the video, and I will see you lovely people next week. Bye!